Many professional investors keep their cards close to their chest and they don't share the secrets for their own success. But today, I'm going to share with you 4 things that professional investors will not tell you when you start investing. How's it going, guys? Ryan here with another investing video, and today we're talking about an interesting topic, and that is 4 things that professional investors will not tell you. And in particular, these are things that I wish I knew at the start of my investing journey, and they would have greatly accelerated my growth as an investor in the stock market. But before we get into that, guys, please remember to like this video. It helps me out so much. And remember to subscribe for all the latest content on the channel. We talk about investing, we talk about stocks, we talk about wealth management, all that awesome stuff, guys. And leave a comment down below of a secret or something you wish you'd known when you started investing on the stock market that could have helped you significantly when you started investing. So guys, without further ado, let's get into the video. And as I mentioned, 4 things that professional investors do not tell you when you start investing. Number 1, and this is something that turns off a lot of people. You will lose money on the stock market. There's no ifs, there's no buts, there is no way to avoid losing money when you're investing, especially when you're in your first few years. If you make a profit in your first few years of investing or break even, you're doing really bloody well. The goal when you start investing is to mitigate your losses and learn. It's a learning process, much like any other career. It takes time and experience to become skilled at it. So learning how to pick companies, learning what makes a company increase in value or decrease in value is critical to your success. But the point here is you will end up picking companies which go down the hole. You're going to lose money on them. You'll end up picking even good companies which genuinely have a good chance of success, but you'll lose money on them. It happens, guys. There is absolutely no perfect recipe for success when it comes to investing, and literally anything can happen. COVID-19, perfect example of this. We've seen some absolutely huge businesses go down as a result of COVID-19. Airlines, for instance, they have suffered significantly as a result of travel bans and just people traveling less in general as a result of COVID. These are things that are sometimes out of your control, but these sort of factors can really influence your chances of success. Mitigating your risk is key here, but you will still lose money. Just try not to lose a lot of money. Mitigate your risk, cut your losses quickly, all that good stuff. Number 2 is patience is a virtue. This is something I wish I knew a lot earlier than I did. When I first started investing, I was trying to do short-term or medium-term trading. And effectively that means I had to be in and out of stocks on a regular basis, and I had to pick the right time to enter and the right time to exit these stocks. Now, for me, that genuinely did not work. And some of these companies that I invested in were genuinely amazing companies, and they grew, and it was fantastic. If I had held, I did not have the patience to hold. And there are a few companies which I have invested in. I've been impatient, sold my shares, and then they've gone up by 10 times within the next 6 months. And that is a failure on my part. That is due to having a lack of patience. Having patience in the stock market is key. My most successful stocks that I currently hold did nothing for 6 months. They just fluctuated between 10-20% range before they actually eventually went up. The key there is patience. If you selected a good company, it has a good story, it has the good fundamentals, be patient. Let it sit there. You do not need to be in and out constantly, especially if you're long-term investing. Don't get it mixed up. Make sure you are patient and you let the story tell itself, and eventually investors will start to come on board if it is a good story, and the share price will increase naturally over time, whether it be gradually, big spikes, or whatever. It will happen. And yes, there may be occasions where your stock when you first get into it is in the red. It's natural. This has happened to me plenty of times, but those red stocks are now in the green, up to 300% plus. And that comes down to patience. That is something that fundamentally changed the way I invested in the stock market, and I highly encourage you guys to take on patience. Learn patience. Find something that you want to invest in, put your money in it, just leave it. Make sure you keep looking at the stocks, but just leave it. And that leads us actually into our third thing that investors, professional investors, do not tell you. Don't set and forget. While yes, you need to be patient, you need to give your stocks time, do not set and forget. Unless you're invested in an ETF or an index fund or something like that, but even so, still saying keep an eye on your stocks. Look at all the latest announcements. Try to keep up with the chitter chatter if you can, on Twitter, on Hot Copper, with company interviews by, the managing directors or the CEOs or specialists, those sorts of people. Keep up with all the latest information if possible, but the crucial one here is to make sure you know what's going on. So keep up to date with those announcements. If you set and forget a stock, let's say I bought a stock, everything's going well, it's going up, it's gone 10%, so I'll just go ignore it. Then over a 6-month period, something's gone seriously wrong, and I've not looked at that stock. That stock has most likely something's gone wrong, but how am I to know? And this comes back to then, once again, mitigating your risk, cutting your losses quickly. You want to make exactly what is going on, at least at a very high level, so that you don't miss opportunities or get caught up in bad situations. Don't set and forget, but still have patience when it comes to stocks. Monitor and maintain. That is absolutely key. And as I said, the only exception would be if you've got a managed fund managing your stocks, or you're following an ETF or something like that. Then you still want to know what's going on, but not down to the individual company level necessarily, because they would effectively be managed. Tip number 4 that successful investors will not tell you. Constantly feed your investments. Make sure you're putting money aside every time you get paid or every time you sell a stock to go back into your investments. You want your investments to grow, and while yes, obviously they're going to grow over time, they're going to grow a hell of a lot quicker if you fuel those investments. Make sure you're putting money into your stocks, even if it's only $100 every single week. Put money into your stocks. Make sure you're consistently growing them, because over time this is going to go a lot more exponentially quick to profits and greater success than it would be if you just chuck one lump sum in and that's it. That's all you're doing with the stock. If you think you've invested in a good stock, then why wouldn't you want to put as much money into it as possible, so that when it does go up, or while it is going up, you make even more money on top of that. And then also, when you are investing and you sell a stock or you're getting dividends or whatever, reinvest a portion of that at least. Yes, take some money out, take some risk off the table, spend it on whatever you want. If you want to buy a car, cool. If you want to put it into real estate, even better. But make sure you reinvest your profits back into the stock market as well. Consistently feed those investments and make sure something is going into them on a regular basis, or you're not going to get as much value out or as much profit out as you potentially could. This is just something that's effectively going to be able to accelerate your growth as an investor. So guys, I hope you did enjoy today's video. If you did, please remember to hit that like button. It helps me out with the YouTube algorithm so much. And subscribe for more content like this. And as I mentioned before, leave a comment down below of a secret that you wish you'd known when you start investing that would have helped you. And with that guys, I hope you have an awesome day. See you next time. Cheers.